I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert. So Donald Trump's lawyers just filed their reply before the Court of Appeals, the 11th Circuit, after the Department of Justice asked the 11th Circuit for a motion for partial stay. Recall, the Department of Justice asked the 11th Circuit to stop Judge Eileen Cannon's order as it relates to the 100 classified records. And they said those 100 classified records should not be part of the special master process. And Judge Eileen Cannon was completely wrong in stopping us from continuing our criminal investigation relating to those 100 classified records. Donald Trump's arguments before the 11th Circuit are absurd and basically amount to: judges, you can't trust the Department of Justice that these documents are actually classified records. Again, in his brief, Donald Trump does not make the claim that he declassified these records. Donald Trump does not make the claim that he owns these records. He simply alleges that they may be his own records. They may be his presidential records. They may be declassified records. Let me remind you that the classification status of these documents is not an element of the crime. It's not an element of obstruction. It's not an element of the Espionage Act. It's not an element of the concealment charge. You can't go and steal any government records, get alone top secret compartmented information, and go, oh, willy-nilly, I'm declassifying. I get to steal it from the government. And oh, they're declassified, so I'm innocent now. That's not what the law is. And how reckless would it be if he is claiming he declassified nuclear secrets and top sensitive compartmented information and didn't even tell anyone? But regardless, he's not even making that claim again. He's simply saying it may be the government hasn't proved that these are classified records. Again, at the end of the day, this is just more delay by Trump. And I think the 11th Circuit is going to see through it. Here's one of the newer arguments, I guess, that Trump added to the mix here. He claims that he may have written notes on the classified records, and therefore that should be subject to executive privilege, and therefore he should potentially have ownership interests in the documents because he wrote on them. It's the most absurd argument in the world that his defense is, I scribbled on documents, I own it. What is he, like a dog? Like he pees on the tree and then thinks the tree belongs to him, right? That's literally the argument, the legal argument that he's making, is that territorially he pissed on the tree and so the tree belongs to him now, which is the most absurd legal argument. You don't think I'm telling you the truth? Of course you know I am, but let me read it to you. He goes, the fact that documents contain classification markings does not necessarily negate privilege claims. For example, the partially unredacted search warrant affidavit states that certain documents with classification markings allegedly contain what appear to be President Trump's handwritten notes. Those notes could certainly contain privileged information, further supporting the need for an independent third-party review of these documents. So he's saying, I scribbled. The scribble may be executive privilege, and therefore they belong to me now. Huh? First off, no. Executive privilege, the law is well established, belongs to the current executive, not to you, the former president. You can't steal things and claim executive privilege over those documents so that the existing executive branch can't look at its own classified documents. Also, it seems like he is admitting as well, if he's putting markings on the documents, to harming the documents, right? To violating the documents, to scribbling on the documents, to destroying the documents. So his argument is, I took a classified document, I scribbled all over the document, and now that document is mine because my handwritten notes are on them. Absolutely bogus. Now, at the same time Donald Trump has made these arguments with the 11th Circuit, notice what else is going on in Judge Deary's court today, where Donald Trump has filed his response to Judge Deary's order. And Judge Deary's like, I want to get this done now. I'm ready to get this done by October 7th. And Trump's like, no, I can't wait. I can't get it done by October 7th. I want to delay this like Judge Cannon wanted. Let's push this out to November 30th. And then Judge Deary, the special master in the Eastern District, was like, okay, well, Tell me about these documents. You want to put forward a Trump affidavit that he declassified these records? Just have him write a declaration and explain to me the process that he went about so I understand why you're claiming he owns these documents. Donald Trump's response, oh, we can't tell you that, because if we told you that, we may be revealing one of our defenses if we actually get indicted. Huh? That's what they're saying? So you started a special master process, and you're saying that the special master should be the one to sort through these claims that you own the records, right? We read your brief right now to the 11th Circuit, where you said, further supporting the need for an independent third-party review of these documents. Okay, so you got Judge Deary, the third-party independent reviewer of the documents, who's asked you, so did you declassify these records? Are these documents yours? And what is your response? Oh, we can't tell you that. It's premature. You figure it out. You decide. Donald Trump is now really, the walls are kind of coming in here. You know, he's stuck. These arguments don't make any sense at all. But one other disturbing development that I need to report as well is that a number of these states, I think with the exception of Kentucky, a number of states that also signed on to Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election, they rushed in with their radical right extremist attorney generals to file an amicus brief for Trump here. Totally against the law, lawless. You got Texas, Florida, Indiana, Kentucky, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Louisiana, South Carolina, Utah, West Virginia. Their MAGA attorney generals all just went together to file a brief. The same way I did a video on the brief of like actual former federal prosecutors who understand the law of executive privilege and understand who owns government documents. By the way, you don't really need to be an expert. The government, the Department of Justice, the executive branch owns its own records, okay? It has a national security interest in its own records. But these states that I just mentioned, like Ken Paxton in Texas and the Republican Florida AG, all these people just rushed and filed a brief supporting Donald Trump. That is what MAGA Republicanism is, putting one man, a cult leader, above the national security interest of our country. And by the way, I should have mentioned, that's one of the aspects that Trump argues to the 11th Circuit, that there won't be any irreparable harm here. How selfish can you be? How freaking disgusting and selfish can you be? There won't be irreparable harm. He doesn't give a shit about our national security. You know, he just goes and steals our top secret compartmented information and nuclear secrets and hides it in his resort and writes notes all over it. And we could die because of it. And then he has the audacity to go into court and say, we the people won't suffer irreparable harm. Are you kidding me? Are you just kidding me? These MAGA people are the most disgusting anti-American people ever. That they would have a cult leader destroy our nation, destroy our lives, allow for the proliferation of our nuclear secrets, allow all of our top secret information to go out to support a freaking orange cult leader. Are you kidding me? That's his brief. His brief is, I may have wrote notes, so now they're mine. Are you kidding me? I hope the 11th Circuit sees through this. There are signs that they are. I hope that Judge Deary sees through it. There are signs that there are. And I'm freaking glad that we have adults in the room at the Department of Justice. And I'm freaking glad we have this MeidasTouch community right now that's loud and is out there and is not taking this crap anymore. Period. Full stop. Make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. Join the Meidas Mighty movement and join us on our new Patreon account at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. That's patreon.com/MeidasTouch. We're not funded by billionaires or millionaires or whatever. If you want to support the MeidasTouch movement, that's how you can do it. Patreon.com/MeidasTouch.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.